Holy shit. Fucking hell, this scares the shit out of me every time. Well, first off, I'd like to say that I can only record one episode today, and the reason for that is because I'm trying to restart drawing again, and I have to kind of tonight I need to do my dailies in World of Warcraft again because I forgot to do them yesterday. Well, actually, I didn't forget. I was just like, fuck it. And I'm also back to translating, and I still need to record some One Piece today and try to get that edited because I'm actually getting there. And I decided I'm going to buy a PlayStation 3 so I can play the One Piece game for that. Since I mean it's looking pretty sweet, and I've asked a few guys like, is it worth it? And they're like, dude, you like One Piece Unlimited Cruise, and this game is like 50 times better than that. So yeah, go get it. And I'm like, alrighty. So I'll be getting the PS3, and we'll see what kind of good games are out for that console. I can think of a few already, but we'll see what happens because I've always pretty much wanted a PS3, and I just decided, yeah, you know what, fuck it, just go for it, go for that shit. I've got a high-end computer now. I can get myself a PS3 and play some of the games I've always wanted to play on that console. And I want a Blu-ray since I'm gonna be buying some Blu-rays of One Piece shit. So let's just get into this. It was a custom of mine to chat with Grim a bit before starting Ensu. We usually didn't chat about anything important. We'd exchange information about interesting threads on Agile and go on about Arrow stuff, recommend new comics to each other, or discuss the previous day's anime. Casual stuff like that. Surprisingly, we didn't talk about Ensu much. Why, you ask? Because we'd talk it to death afterward, while we were playing Ensu. Alright. Has there been some kind of weird prank going around lately? Sauce, please. No, I just heard about it from someone I know. But I don't know if it's really going around or not. Seems like they play weird sounds into the cell phone's voicemail. Like a Moe voice saying arrow stuff to you? Lol. No. Whatever Gary you're thinking of. On the contrary, wouldn't you want them to hurry up and do that to you? Well then, whose eyes are those eyes? As usual, Graham had to go and use those words. He'd made my mood go sour in an instant. Plus, his Japanese was strange. Were those words so fascinating that they merited being shoehorned in, even when they didn't fit? At least, they didn't fascinate me one bit. Far from it, they made me go cold. But no point in fighting with him about it. Not before I finished asking about the prank. I simply had to put up with him. Like the sound of a freak article fapping? Lol. That's foul. That's just gross, dude. To answer you seriously, it's Let Me Pass. Let Me Pass, that's a song, right? The one they play at the crosswalks? Yeah. And then in the middle it suddenly switches to a sound like a buzzer. Apparently it's pretty high decibel. Yeah, you'd know, right? Why do you fucking turd fucking sense? I mean, it happened to you. No need to lie about it. Ever heard of a prank like that? Seems like the kind of thing that they to be fat at channel, doesn't it? The mysterious buzzer-like noise had been recorded in my voicemail yesterday. I didn't know whose handiwork it was, and something about it concerned me, so I had to go asking if Grim had heard of it. I had to go at asking, rather. If it were purely a prank call, all I'd have to do from here on out was ignore it. Huh? Grim wasn't reacting. I wonder why. I'm about to shit my pants, aren't I? Oi! You drift off? Still no reaction. It was rare for Grim to fall asleep like this. In fact, it hadn't happened once in the past. But if he was asleep, there was no helping it. We'd meet later in Ensu anyway, and I could raise the subject again then. The moment I thought that and started to rise from my seat, kept you waiting. I was searching at channel for stuff about your prank. Oh, so that's what happened. But in other words, it meant that even the super knowledgeable Grim hadn't known about this prank. But no one was talking about it anywhere. Forget ad channel, it isn't anywhere online. That suggested that the prankster had done it because they harbored some kind of personal grudge against me. The identity of the caller concerned me, after all, but I wasn't gutsy enough to call back. But since I knew the phone number, I could use someone as a scapegoat and make them call for me. Or just type in the cell phone number on the internet and see what that gives you. That's what I do when I get a random call at like 3 a.m. in the morning. Nanami and Misumi seemed like the best choices. No, Misumi was out because he might have been brainwashed by the demon girl. And Nanami was my little sister, so I wouldn't have any trouble asking her to do it. She'd probably get pissed at me afterward, but it wouldn't be my problem. Nothing wrong with making her experience social hardship firsthand every once in a while. I thanked Grim, promised to meet him in Ensu a couple of hours later, and closed the chat. Right then, my stomach gurgled. Man, I was hungry. Did I have my cup ramen stuck up here somewhere? I went hunting for it, but I couldn't spot it anywhere. I reluctantly decided to go get some at the convenience store. Lots of shit going now. Oh, this is bad. This is a bad deal. The sun had already set. If possible. Okay. We're getting there again at that point in time. Wow, now everyone can see what kind of death metal I listen to. Oh my god. Fucking awesome. In case you didn't the last time. Crap. Went into the wrong. Oh snap. Look at this deal.
Just turn the page!
Yep, that's enough of that. If possible, just turn the page. I'd have preferred to avoid walking around after dark, because lately all it had given me were nasty memories. I unthinkingly hastened my pace, hurrying down the road to the store. So I guess we're going to this 7-Eleven thing, or what's it called? Target? Yeah, whatever. Today is Saturday. Alright, you're lucky that doesn't say another day right before Saturday. So I would have expected to cross paths with any number of pedestrians, but so far I hadn't encountered a single one. Yeah, seems pretty fucking quiet for Shibuya at night. The stores that were always open had been closed. It was a tad strange. Maybe I was under the wrong impression, like thinking it was 7 p.m. when in actuality it was around 2 a.m. Okay, maybe not. Man, I'm about to shit my pants so hard. God damn. Someone's gonna have to unplug his toilet like in fucking China. That's what's about to go down. I'm telling you, if this game scares the shit out of me, holy fuck. Even so, it was far too quiet. For the most part, I couldn't hear any miscellaneous city noises. The town's ambience was different than usual. Holy shit. New CG. I arrived at the convenience store in the Shinzen Plaza. The plaza was in front of the train station, but there wasn't a single person here either. I was gradually starting to get scared. The sudden absence of something I'd taken for granted, that alone was enough to give me the sense that I'd fallen into another world. Under ordinary circumstances, I skirted away from the meeting with and talking to ordinary blah blah. I cannot talk. Let's go fucking do this again. Damn, son. Exhibit, I need you to fix my car. You pimp hoes, you pimp prostitutes, I don't give a damn. Under ordinary circumstances, I skirted away from meeting with and talking to people. But right now, I just wanted to see someone's face. These are from real steel and bing, ow, oh, oh, that got me good. You alright? Ooh, the tip of the just got me, Odell. You alright? Get it, doctor. Alright. If you got that reference, you've been on YouTube for far too long. I ran inside the convenience store. There absolutely had to be a clerk in there. So I thought as I surveyed the store's surveyed, goddamn, the store's interior. That fucking noise scared the fuck out of me. No one was there. Oh man, that's bad. That's bad. That's a bad deal. Onigiri. Alright. Well, let's go green. Since this is a green playthrough. No one was there. Oh, I had someone who told me that he didn't, or she didn't, excuse me. I didn't check your gender. Sorry. It's the internet after all. I don't give a damn. But I kind of do, but I don't care enough that I want to stalk you. So anyways, what the fuck am I trying to say? So that person said, I'm out almost at the end of this game, and I kept wondering what that beeping noise was, and I was like, what the fuck? And what can I do with it? And I'd like to tell you, in your first playthrough, this is my first playthrough, but I know this because I saw a walkthrough in Japanese, and the first playthrough does not matter what you take. You will always get the same ending, except for one chapter where it is possible to get a bad ending. So it doesn't really matter, since you'll get the same ending, and you'll see scenes of you didn't pick anything, so you won't have a delusion, I think. So you can play the game again. Just press your control button, left control, and that skips through most of it. Just be sure you don't skip, the muscle trigger scenes, and then you can just take the green or the red, or most people actually save when there's a choice between green and red, and then they go back after they saw the scene they don't want to take. And like, for example, I know I'm doing the green playthrough, so what I could be doing was save when I see this whip Moso trigger come up, and just save, pick the red, watch that scene, right click load, and then click the green scene, and we can go on with that. But I decided I wanted to keep it, like a story in which we don't travel fucking back in time every goddamn second. So that's what you can do. That's what you can do if you're somehow playing along, which I wouldn't really understand because you'd be hearing the sound of the game and all, but if that's what you're doing, enough bullshit. No customers, not even a cachet.
まさか
This wasn't possible. The cachet had to be doing something in the back of the store. If I brought some goods up to the register, they'd soon re-emerge. That was why, in the end, I took my time picking a boxed lunch while pretending to check out some manga magazines. I set my boxed lunch down by the register. Shit's about to go down. No one came out after all. Maybe it was true that not a single person was here. Okay, if it's like that, then I picked up the box lunch, I left it by the register, and then went straight for the automatic doors. I'm about to shit myself here. I stood in front of the doors. It opened. And as I was about to step outside, I shit myself. A cashier finally came out of another room behind the register. He was a dark, bleary-looking man, probably in college. Leaning across the counter, he glared at me with dull eyes. Wow. Fucking hell, that guy is unfriendly. I shrugged my shoulders and turned back toward the register. すいせん? Nanda sore? Fuck. It's not because you're older than me you need to be talking shit. The clerk lowered his head to me, grinning flippantly as if he were mocking me. God damn, yes he is. But this BGM is awesome. Something snapped inside me. God, this store didn't teach its workers anything. Oh my god. Store battle. Fuck yeah. Oh, wow, that's cool. He just told that guy to fuck off. What the fuck? That guy is really pissing me off. Who the fuck is behind that? What the fuck? Nito yaro? I unthinkingly struck at him. My super fast straight punch hit the clerk smack on the nose. Crying out pathetically, he fell backwards, crashed into the shelves, and collapsed in place. Oh my god! What a con! It had been a magnificent punch, if I say so myself. As as blood gushed from his nose, the clerk prostrated himself on the floor with tears in his eyes. With tears in my eyes, dancing. It just had to happen. We've got to get that every time. A 70s or 80s song out of nowhere. This time it was what are they called? Ultravox? Is that it? Yeah. Dancing with Tears in My Eyes. So look that up. Dancing with Tears. Actually, it's probably gonna be in there as well already. It probably showed it to you already. Oh, fuck that noise. Gohan! Pretty cool that they took photographs of this place and then just pasted some pastel colors on top of it. Whatever. While I was at it, I grabbed 4 dorayaki bean pastries from the display in front of the register. Then, satisfied, went back to the door. 二度と来るかバカ! 二度と来るんじゃねえよ! Tossing back that line to snazzily get in the last word, I breezed out of the store. And then I woke up. Am I right? Several minutes passed while I fantasized. There was no indication that a cashier would appear. I had no intention of dirtying my hands with delinquent behavior. Like in my daydream. That said, I didn't possess the aggression needed to yell out for the cachet either. I simply stood motionless in the empty store. I very much wanted to believe that the clerk had dozed off, so I tried waiting for another 5 minutes. But in that time, neither a cachet nor any other customer appeared. I didn't hear any sounds. At last, I became frightened and returned the box lunch to its original shelf before leaving. I'm about to shit myself. Oh, goddamn, that looks fucking menacing. I went to a railroad crossing located close beside the station. From here, I had a good view of the Shinsen station platform. Let's see if we can see anything. Cross, blah blah. I presume that here, if nowhere else, couldn't possibly be devoid of people, but no one was there after all. Ugh, I'm getting chills, dude. I waited for the train to come in. Once it came, there would have to be passengers getting off. Even if no one left, I'd see them riding in the train as it passed before me. And that Fade to Black made me shit myself. Dude, this game is profoundly awesome at trying to make you shit yourself. I waited for 10 minutes and still no train came. I tried to make myself think that there'd been a fatal accident, one that had messed up the train schedules, but as before, no customers whatsoever emerged onto the platform. What the fuck is going on here? This is fucking making me get chills, get shivers down my spine. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. Gotta leave it all behind. Okay. Having come to this point, I finally realized the gravity of the situation. Gravity? I mean, gravity? Is something wrong with the world's gravity? Strange. This was bizarre. Oh yeah, I should try to go to Shibuya Station. People would definitely be there, no doubt about it. 24 hours a day. It didn't matter when people were always, without fail, in the Shibuya Station Plaza. I broke into a run without a moment's hesitation. This shit is fucking weird. I ran as if my life depended on it. I didn't want to stop, even when my breath came up short. Run, run away, run away, run away. Full moon. It might have been the first time I'd run with all my might since I was born. As I ran, I prayed for this to be some kind of tasteless nightmare, but it wasn't a dream. My heart and lungs hurt so badly, it felt like they were shredding. It was a pain that transcended the dimension of dreams. I was surprised at the extreme fervor of my own breathing. It hurt no matter how much air I sucked in. Whoa! As I ran Dogan Hill, I finally caught sight of the 107 building. Dude, there's no one here. By now, my legs had gone unsteady. My body felt astoundingly heavy. Even so, I forced my feet to keep moving forward. I could no longer afford to keep an eye on my surroundings. On the contrary, the entirety of my consciousness was focused on the pedestrian scramble that symbolized Shibuya. A little longer, just a little longer. Once I passed 107, I'd be right there. The largest in Japan. It was a place in Japan where the largest number of people came swarming together all at once, moving simultaneously with changing of the traffic signals, which was why I had to get to the scramble. The scramble! Dude, that gave me chills, dude. Empty. The Shibuya Station Plaza, which you could survey from the Y-shaped road in front of 107. A soundless world, a dead-seeming world. This space was supposed to be flooded with the sound that was now governed by silence. All I could hear was my own ragged breathing. In the middle of the wide street, I fell heavily to my knees. I couldn't walk any further than this. Shock had drained all the strength from my body. Right, left, front, back, everywhere. No one was there. Even though 7 on a Saturday night was the time when Shibuya ought to be the most crowded of all. What was happening? Imagine... It was a lie. This had to be a lie. Now, I'm going to explain this to you for those who don't get it. Imagine New York Times Square, being empty in the middle of New Year's Eve. That's what's going on right here. I closed my eyes and nursed my head. This was a dream, an illusion. There'd be no way that this could be reality. Yes, I thought I wanted to live a quiet and peaceful life by myself. I didn't want anyone to meddle with me, and I didn't want to get involved in anything. But I hadn't wished for a world with anyone else in it. Without anyone else in it. If no one was there, who would pay for my living expenses? If no one was there, who would make convenient stored box lunches for me to eat? Now, I'm not really exactly bothered about the fact that no one would pay your living expenses, since there'd be no one to ask for the cash for it. And I'd be concerned about eating food. Yeah, it seems legit. If no one who'd play into it, oh dude, that's sick. Imagine being the only guy on World of Warcraft, the official server. That day is gonna come. I can tell you right now. That day is coming. If no one was there. Holy shit. A sound. I heard a sound. It wasn't me. Someone else had made it. Someone was there. Someone other than me was close by here. I felt like I'd reached salvation. As I thought, it had coincidentally appeared like no one was here. In truth, not a person had disappeared. I hadn't been left behind in the world all alone. I was so relieved I almost cried. I sent my gaze in the direction the sound was coming from, and I shit myself, because it's a fucking wheelchair dude. The one there was a boy in a wheelchair. A short distance away from me, though still in the middle of the street, he sat quietly in place. Don't zoom up on his face! At the moment, I couldn't tell quite how old he was. Going by the size of his body, he could only have been an elementary school student. What the fuck? Elementary school? Elementary. Because his hat was pulled down low over his eyes, I couldn't see much of his expression. Except... Shogun. It's gotta be him. The boy's voice sounds really fucking weird. Boy's voice. The boy's voice sounded particularly clear to me, feeling as though he'd whispered it right into my ear. I unintentionally whirled around, but of course there was no one behind me.
これどうなってるんですか?
Though he was younger than me, I found myself speaking formally. So I should explain this. I raged about that earlier in this video. In fact, when Japan and South Korea, I know for sure, work with this thing called senpai. And I forgot the Korean word for it, so forgive me. I don't study Korean yet. But, well, I used to study Japanese. Now I just do it as a hobby. And so, youngsters, people younger than you don't have to speak formally to them unless you were in some kind of situation where you are speaking to a Yakuza's daughter, so the daughter of a Yakuza, or if you were by any chance speaking to the Princess of Japan, or anyone you kind of want to show respect to. But mostly it's like that when you're older, you speak to them like you're an ass, to make it like fucking and hell and bullshit and crap, that kind of shit. And if you speak to someone older than you, you're expected not to say any of that and say sir, or in that case senpai, senpai, so with an N, not M. Hepburn romanization is horrible. It is fucking awful. Don't use Hepburn, please. It's senpai. Senpai. Not senpai. Fuck. Okay.
どうして誰もいないのか? 君は理由を知ってますか? 知ってるよ.
Despite the fact that his voice sounded young, there was nothing childish about its ambience.
それより僕のメッセージは 受け取ってくれた？
Message. Sorry, I was about to say that in Japanese. Message. Massage? I didn't know about what he was talking about.
誰だ君は。
The boy moved his wheelchair a tiny bit forward, perhaps because it was old. Simply going forward made it let out rusty noises.
その目誰の目
In before gasp.
でしょ
I was confused. Why had this boy murmured, whose eyes are those eyes, here and now? What in the world was he?
目覚めるんだ。早く
What the fuck?
出ないともっとたくさんの人が死んじゃうことになるから。君は一体。
I rubbed my eyes, wiping away my tears. Thanks to that, I was finally able to take a clear look at that boy's face. Oh, God. God damn. Fucking hell. You know what scared me the most? His fucking awful sense of clothing. Who the fuck wears that shit in the middle of the street? Take off that shitty ass beanie. God damn. No, dude, it's like one of those people who has rapid growth syndrome. This boy wasn't even a boy. His skin was wrinkled as an old man's. His cheeks were gaunt. His eye sockets were sunken to a sickly extent. His eyes were clouded. He had no eyebrows. Yeah, he has no eyes too. And his body was as small as a child's.
僕は
Shogun.
将軍だよ。
For a second I forgot to breathe. My head rocked with an impact akin to that of being struck by a hammer. The ground shook. No, my body was tilting. I splayed a hand on the asphalt, holding myself up. Just now, what had he said? Shogun. He was Shogun.
忘れないで。君は逃げちゃいけない。
I raised my head and watched the Shogun, who had already turned his back to me, left. His wheelchair creaked as it slowly receded into the distance. I thought about chasing after him and demanding all kinds of answers from him, but I didn't think of telling him, how dare you get me involved in hitting him. That sort of thing didn't agree with me. My head had started aching. The area around my temples throbbed sharply. I curled into a fetal position and endured the pain. Temple of love.
タク。
A single noise began to spread throughout the soundless world. Whose voice was this? I know whose fucking voice that is. That's the voice of a nightmare come true. Holy shit. Holy fuck, he had a fucking breakdown, dude. That's shiver. Ugh. I got goosebumps. So that kanji once again, well, that sentence once again said, Boku wo miru na. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Don't tell me your name. William Hung's new single, out now. And if you didn't hear, everyone, about like 50,000 people, all through each other said, Sono me dare no me. The thing that had been a noise gradually transmuted into a real voice. Someone had placed a gentle hand on my shoulder.
邪魔なんだっつうの。
What the fuck?
何してんだろうね。
最近の若いもんは。
I am Deckard Cain. Stay a while and listen.
なんかのパフォーマンスじゃないの？
タク。
Fighting with my headache, I raised my gaze. Hi-yo! The demon girl, Remy, was crouching over me, peering into my face. Well, you seem to be like on a very high level when crouched. You must be... That guy is fucking scaring the shit out of me. Look at that fucker. Look at... Oh, you little shit nugget. You little fuck. I can see you. I can see that. You little nugget. Clear eyes filled with life. Eyes without a face. Can't sue me. I had to do it. Eyes that looked wholeheartedly at me. Only at me. Again, this girl had appeared so suddenly. She slipped her hand around my side and tried to make me stand up. I shrieked and shook her off. Coming back to myself, I looked around. As before, I was in the middle of the road, but it wasn't empty anymore. There were people 360 degrees around me in every direction, and they all walked whichever way they pleased without showing any interest in me. Looking as if she were about to cry, Rimi extended a hand toward me. When I yelled, the throbbing in my head changed to a direct pain. Even so intent and uncaring, I crawled to open more distance between me and Rimi. Oh, snap! An abrupt shock shot through my neck. It stung and began to go hot. Rimi had slapped me. She was gonna kill me for sure now. Hell, it's about damn time, Jimmy. On all fours, I scrambled this way and that across the ground. But Rimi grabbed my hand in a flash. She pulled me towards her with a strength I found to be unbelievable coming from a girl. She embraced me. Her soft form enveloped me tenderly. She was very warm. She smelled ever so faintly of sweat. Her smooth, shining hair tickled the end of my nose. With the wind out of my sails, my whole body threatened to go limp. There was a slight catch to her voice. I didn't know whether or not she was crying. Oh shit, you're in the middle of the street? Pedestrians walk? I was lost. She didn't intend to kill me. Why was she helping me? That hallucination from earlier, where all the people in Shibuya vanished, it wasn't something she'd made me see? When I sensed such a kind-hearted warmth, when she hugged me without the least bit of malice, it had the effect of shaking everything I'd believed up until now. It made me think that maybe Sakihata Rimi wasn't a demon at all. Was I foolish? Was she pulling the wool over my eyes? Except one thing alone had become certain. With Rimi holding me, I felt incredibly relieved. I didn't know what to call this peculiar sensation. Upon letting go of me, Rimi clasped my face in her hands and looked at me steadily again. Her eyes were a little reddish. Somehow I ended up nodding. Right now we were all standing alone in the middle of the crossing that everyone had vacated. The vast number of people waiting on the sidewalk for the light to change were paying close attention to us. I heard laughing voices come from here and there. Myriad cars pointed their headlights at us and began blaring their horns. Rimi took a firm grip on my hand and began running toward the sidewalk. I followed in her wake as she pulled me. As the honking horde scattered across us, we made it to the sidewalk. Rimi let out a relieved breath, pulled up short. She was still holding my hand. But that by itself made my heart grow calmer and calmer. I wanted to give myself over to this serenity. I wanted to stay like this forever. Rumi turned back in my direction.
無事でよかったね。
Thanks. She smiled as though she was tremendously happy. I didn't think that expression of hers was a lie or an act, but
話してよ。
because up until now, I'd been utterly hostile towards her, because I had thought she was a demon. If I let her win me over now, I felt like I'd cease being myself.
ごめんごめん。
She quickly dropped my hand.
それにしてもびっくりした。タクが道の真ん中でうずくまってるんだもん。信号が赤になった時はどうなることかと。
I turned my back to Remy as she began talking cheerfully. I walked off, winding my way through the hordes of people.
僕帰る。
Seems like a good place to call it quits for today. That was quite a fucking awesome set. I have to be honest. I was about to shit myself a dozen times, and out of that dozen times that I was about to shit myself, there were actual 5 or 6 times that I actually shit myself, so that's about 19 times I was about to shit myself. Oh, God. Oh, God. Man, I am tired. I spent all evening watching One Piece last night. Since I restarted watching it, I couldn't let it go. I was like, oh, God, I gotta watch again. It's been a year. And that was quite awesome. Fishman arc. Very crazy. It reminds me of the good old times with old Arlong. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you stick around. Stick around. That's every fucking time now. Stop that bullshit.